Hello, how are we doing? So I'm making this because it seems like we're having a lot of different troubles with the exhibition log. The first being access to the exhibition log. You should all have access to your exhibition log. You can go back in the assignment that I'm going to show you right now, and that will directly access your exhibition log. If you're in a different class and you're watching this, it might look a little different. My week might look different or something, the topic that's listed in Google Classroom, but that doesn't change the positioning or the place that you find, the assignment you find this exhibition log. The second thing that I'm going to talk about here beside the where the exhibition log is, how to get there, but also going to just go through and show you the parts of the exhibition log that you should have been completing or have completed already. Many of them are assignments that were already done in previous weeks, and all you have to do is copy and paste them in. So it's not like we're trying to make you do a whole bunch of work here. We just need you to put them all in the exhibition log. That's what we grade, that's what we're looking at, and that's what we see the assignments in. So sometimes I might tell you you didn't do something, or your teacher might tell you, hey, you didn't do something, but you say I did. You just got to put in the exhibition log. So make sure we're following through, placing things where they belong and where they're supposed to be. So if I need to find the exhibition log, the first thing I need to do is go into Google Classroom. So I'm in Google Classroom. Oh, sorry, I forgot to share the screen. So first thing you have to do is go into Google Classroom. So I go into Google Classroom and I look at or find, in my classroom, it'd be week 5. I believe in every other classroom it'd be week 4, but it's April 27th through May 1st, okay, for me. I believe for your classes wise, it's the week before. So actually it's not even be week 4, but it's the week before this is what I mean. So April 23rd or whatever it was to the 27th is where everyone else's should be. But in my class, I put it in on this Monday because I wanted to be able to find it. If you don't know, you can go and find all the topics here and you could just click the topic. So it's that April 27th, and I'm not going to try to make anybody sick here, but I'm going to scroll down as fast as I can without making too many people sick. Okay, and when you get to the bottom of mine, because I put it in on a Monday, then you will see the exhibition log. So the assignment is called exhibition log. It has an exhibition log walkthrough that Mrs. Luke had put together in slideshow, and then it has the actual log. The one you have here, the one you access here that you turned in is your exhibition log. So if I click it, it looks different for me. I mean, it opens it. It should open your log, the one you turned in. It shouldn't open the one that I put in there. It should be yours. But if it's, for whatever reason, you believe it's not, when you scroll down, there's nothing in it, typed in it, you have to say, okay, I need to go to Google Classroom and find it. And when we keep saying that, and we tell you go to Google Google Drive, I meant Google Drive, and find it, what we mean by that is you have to just go to your Google Drive and search it. It has a search function. It's a very easy, very useful search function that you should use, as often as you can to find things. So when I go to Google Drive, it should open your drive when I search it. Okay, it shows all the recent stuff. I just go up here. Okay, but the thing is this, if you see this side here on the left, you'll see that it says shared with me and it tells you who shared it. So this is useful for finding your partner. If you're in a group, the group work. Here for teachers, it's just with every single thing that's ever been accessed or turned in by a student. But with you guys, it's just stuff that was shared to you from the teacher, but also from other students. Okay, there's a recent tab. So in case you believed you opened it recently, it gives you a whole list of recent ideas, but really you just go here to My Drive. You go up here to Search in Drive and you say exhibition, make sure you spell it right. log. And when I click it, you're going to see I have a whole bunch of exhibition logs from all my students, but I have anything that says exhibition log in it. Exhibition log walkthrough, exhibition log, which is an assignment I created, you know, the exhibition log from all the students, and it'll show it from last year even, okay? But it should say right here, owner, and it should say you. It should say me, which is M-E, meaning you, okay? Don't get all confused with that. If it belongs to someone else, it shows their name. Okay, so these are all the peoples I have access to. And you'll notice I even have one that belongs to me that's a separate one that's different. You'll have the same thing if you created exhibition logs, you know, by copying them. Make sure you get the one that you modified the last or most recently. Make sure it's the one that has your answers in it. Okay, that has all the information, the central idea, the lines of inquiry, and everything we're looking for. Okay, so I looked in my, and I found my exhibition log. All right, good job. Okay, that's what we need you to do, find your exhibition log. And then when you go into your exhibition log, again, I'm not gonna scroll through too fast, but you definitely can put your name or your group member's name, okay, teacher and all that. Okay, this right here, essential agreements, is if you have already met with your group, you should have come with this first. You should have created essential agreements. It's these rules, right? Group rules, basically, and then other things you agree to that you're going to follow, okay? Student signature, parent, teacher supposed to sign that we understand the essential agreements, your mentor. That means that's what your group's going to do. Your mentor is part of your group. You don't see them every day, but you would, or if we were in class, you wouldn't see them every day, but they're still part of your group. You sign this, right? Meaning you just type your name in. Okay, it tells you what you're not doing. You make sure that all your members sign, but really it's just for you. Okay, and you're agreeing. And then these are the requirements. So this is just a list of things that you should do. So if you notice, it's, you know, it seems like a short list, but it's a short list of a lot of different steps to get there. So once you pass that, you go to the exhibition rubric. This was given to you in a previous assignment. Okay, I click back and I'll try to find it as fast as I can. Okay, called Introductory Research. So the Introductory Research, it's in the previous week, so don't get too sick if I scroll up too fast. Just don't look at the screen. Okay, so in my class, it'd be week 4, and it was on a Thursday and a Friday. We did the introductory research, right? Part 1 and part 2. And you notice that I have a whole lot of people at this moment who finally turned it in, okay, which is good. And that stuff needs to be copy and pasted. Well, wrong one, it's math module. That needs to be copy and pasted. Your answers to this introductory research goes into your exhibition log. Okay, but you see that this assignment includes right here the exhibition rubric. That first assignment, the first time we told you to do something for exhibition that was not your hard activity, was to do this exhibition rubric, read it so you knew what to do, but do the introductory research for your topic. First thing, okay, 13 questions. So it looks like this, and you read it and you see what we're looking for. 3s are proficient, meaning 3s are good. Okay, advanced score, 4s are, you know, beyond good, they're better. Okay, they're the best you can do. So you probably want to shoot for 4s, right? This was just a timeline. So this just told you, you know, the things you're supposed to do, and you should use it, or you should have used it as a guide, right? And you'll see that some of the stuff you don't do, decide on a mentor. Okay, you're not doing that. That's fine. But you still have to brainstorm. You should have brainstormed the categories. You should have done the hard activity, key concepts. Then we group you. And while you're being grouped, or you're beginning to decide in your group, you're doing the introductory research. It's these questions right here. And there's 13 of them. Okay, it says students will begin researching their group topic. There must be a basic understanding of these following questions, and there's 13 of them. Okay, they go all the way down here. So you need to have completed by answering those questions based on your topic. For example, my topic, as an example, is always lack of drinking water. So what are the issues surrounding the waste of drinking water? What are the issues surrounding drinking water and the environment? What are the issues of drinking water and conflict resolution, or ways that people fight over drinking water? Are there any conflicts over drinking water? And if so, how are they resolved? How do we fix it? Okay, where is this issue seen? Where is the lack of drinking water issue seen? It's here in the United States. It's also in other countries. Okay, it's a global issue. How long has this issue been going on? When was it first documented? If I'm focused, in my mind, I think of the state of Michigan and those people who've had lack of drinking water in their city. Okay, we're talking coming out of the pipes. That issue's been going on for years. And it was first documented probably 5 years ago, if not more. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh no, I was thinking about people in the Dominican Republic, because I noticed, or Haiti, they had an earthquake and they couldn't get drinking water. So where's the issue seen? Well, I see this in the Dominican Republic. How long has the issue been going on? When was it first documented? And I talk about the time I saw it in, because of the earthquake that was there. How are the problems affecting this planet? How are the drinking water problems affecting the planet? So I answer all my questions based off of that, topic that's in my mind. And if you did it on a separate sheet of paper, which is fine because we had a different assignment with it, you cut or copy and paste them into this section here. Okay. Keep the question, put your answer. Keep the question, put the answer. Okay. So it's going to expand this. It's going to make it bigger. Okay. What do I do after that? Oh, the next thing I did is I talked about key concepts. Is this key concepts? No, this is just telling you the things that you should start doing. And you start doing these things from the introductory research. Okay, and let me back up, I'm sorry. So everywhere that I went to search for the answers to the issues of waste and drinking water, I Googled it or I did whatever to find my information, and I cite it. I tell you where I got the information from. It's not a standalone answer. It's information. It's research information. So you have to tell us in a bibliography format, which is here included in the rubric. Okay. It's toward the bottom, sorry. It's a separate attachment in the assignment here. And here, bibliography format. It tells us here, you have a copy of this in that assignment, the bibliography format. Mrs. Luke explained it in the Zoom meeting. If you get a book, you try to follow and fit in the information here. Periods and commas are very important, so make sure those get put in exactly the way they are on here. If it's an internet site, if they have an author, okay. If they don't, that's fine, but if they do, you need to find it. The name of the site address in these carets, right, in these brackets. The date you went to find the information. Just in case I go back to look for it and it's no longer there, and you say, oh, I looked on this date, and you looked after, so it doesn't look like it's there anymore. Okay? So, and then this is an example. Or if you find an encyclopedia article online, then you would follow this one. So that is the other part to your research, your introductory research. Okay, this is telling you that you would need to create a board display and things like, okay, so we're doing this online, it's virtual. So you don't have to do a board display. You can do it virtually. You can do it electronically on a Google slide or Google Doc. I'm going to make another video hopefully here today talking about Google Sites, so you can take a look at Google Sites and you can use that because it's a nice big presentation that you and your group or just you yourself can put everything you need on that site, such as the list of research that you did, the group articles, lines of inquiry, right? The central idea, all that stuff. You could just put it on the Google site electronically. You don't need to do a real board But if you do, you just take a picture and put all that information on and then place it in your, upload it into Google Classroom. Okay, this is telling you that you need to make sure you're covering all of these different pieces. You need to be an inquirer, which is you saying, well, I'm going to research something. I'm going to think about it. You did it. You think about what you hear. Okay, you're knowledgeable. You find information. So you should do all these things. But you should also include central idea, lines of inquiry, questions that you've asked, research that you've conducted, and shared research that in a presentation form. Okay, IB attitudes, you have to have these concepts. You don't need to have them every single one, but you should have many. Okay, these skills. Okay, and if you're wondering, you say, oh, you need to fill this out. So this section here called issues, you say, I think this issue is important because this does come off the top of your head. What is their main concern about this issue? But it also helps with your research. You say, I did introductory research. I'm going to answer these questions. I'm going to be a little more knowledgeable if I did my introductory research correctly, and I'll be more knowledgeable so I can answer these questions a little bit better. But I focused my research so I know where I'm going with my research. Why did I choose the problem? Why does it matter to me? How can I contribute and take action to solve the problems? Okay? And then we come to key concepts, which there's a whole section on key concepts that Mrs. Luke again made a Google slide or Google slideshow, and she talked about this. We talked about this in Zoom classroom meeting, and we went very in depth because we need you to understand these questions are focusing you even more. This focused you, these right here focused your research. These completely focus you and make it pinpoint focus on your central, to help you create your central idea. So you ask yourself a question that talks about a form of what it's like. So my question would be, okay, well, I'm talking about drinking water. What is drinking water? What is fresh water? What is water that cannot be drunk? Okay, I ask myself those questions. Those are form questions. So then I, in my mind, want to know what this thing is like, what it is. A function, how does it work, right? Or how does the problem get created? How does that work? All right. How does fresh drinking water become spoiled, right? Or no good? How come some water can be poisonous? Where does that come from? So I am getting a function question. Causation, what's it causes it, right? What's the cause of no drinking water, poisonous drinking water? Some of them sound very close to each other, and I say, you know what? The question I asked about what makes drinking water not good, I'm going to take that, I'm going to put it down here in causation, because I'm actually asking, what's the cause of it? How does this get created? See, you can create your questions and you just plug them in. Okay, but again, these should have been done already because we're expecting you to be on your action, but that's fine. I need to see these in your exhibition log also, not just on separate paper. You need to put them in your exhibition log, and then you can make the drafts. Okay, so key concepts. You should be able to do this section here, the 3 A's of action, because by now you should be starting on your action. So you talk about what awareness is, that's a definition. And then you say how you could show awareness for your issue. What is activism? Definition. How can you show activism? Aid. Definition. How can you aid or show aid for your issue? How can you create something that looks like you're trying to help? Your central idea. Again, a whole section we created a lesson for. So make sure you look at that, look at those videos, and it's your overall message you want your audience to understand. So if my central idea for my drinking water issue, I say fresh drinking water must be fresh drinking water. And again, a whole section on this where Mrs. Luke and I and Mrs. Nero, when we are all together, talked you through it the best we could. Fresh drinking water must be found in all countries. So then when I write that and I say, oh, that's not the best central idea, but it's the one I came up with at the moment. but I need an action, right, to go for, and I need my 2 concepts. So once I create something, I go to draft 2 after I think about it and do a little more research and get it. And I look at how does the central idea created in that lesson, and I'll say, oh, I'm going to revise it. So I'm going to take this first central idea and I'm going to revise it. I'm going to make it better. You don't have to do all 4 drafts, but you probably will if you're going to come up with your best central idea. And then when you get together as a group, maybe you have a good central idea and so does your partner. So you can put them together to have even another draft of your central idea. The idea here is that you can't rush through it. There's no way you can finish this thing so quickly. It takes time and it takes a lot of thought. Okay? Lines of inquiry are directly from your central idea. So if my central idea comes about to say fresh drinking water is a necessity in fresh drinking water is a necessity in the world that must be available to all people, no matter where they live. So if my central idea is that, I come to my lines of inquiry, which are my 3 main points that I'm going to share, and I say, line of inquiry 1, fresh drinking water is not available to all people in this world. I can also then think of another line of inquiry. My other line of inquiry could be something that comes from, I don't want to get you sick again, so let's not go too fast. I could go back to change reflection, or I could think of perspective, and I go, oh, the points of view. And I say my line of inquiry is going to do with points of view. So I'm going to say I'm going to say people do not think about the water that they waste. Well, that's a good line of inquiry, because I can tell you right now, some of you probably have a half-drunk bottle of water that's been sitting next to you for 5 days that you say, well, this is no good anymore, and you just pour it in the sink. Man, that's useful water that can be used somewhere. See, so those lines of inquiry, they help me to say, I'm going to research that. And then now I know the 3 things that I want to focus on. If I get in a group, then I take my 3 things and we put them all together and we come up with the top 3 things that we all want to research. Or maybe we just pick one each. If there's 3 of us in a group, we each pick one line of inquiry that we really want to follow that has to do with a different concept. Okay? So you should complete those. And if you see draft 1, draft 2, final lines of inquiry, these are the ones that will be in your exhibition planner, which is here. And these are your final central ideas, or central idea. This is your final group of research. It's not just 4. You're probably going to have 8 or 10. Okay, primaries, secondaries. Primary means the ones that you looked at to get the most information from. A secondary, you might have pulled a picture from there or something. Okay, and then all of your lines of inquiry, right? Your questions, what it is. This is spelled wrong. It's supposed to be derive. Oh, no, drive, sorry. So what questions or provocations, what are you asking yourself that's going to drive your inquiries? And you list your key concept questions here. So key concept questions go right here. So all of those bits of information that you've created should all be on this exhibition planner. So we should see it all in one place. And if you notice, this is your bibliography format. If you don't have the one that's separate, if you notice, I'm on page 18 already. Yes, you'll have to go back to do a couple of things before this, but for the most part, it's all done. The whole first half is done before you even get to talking about your plan for your action, okay, and writing an essay. You have to do all of the research. Okay, reflections come last, right? Exhibition action plan. So these are where you say what you're going to do, who's going to do it, right? Who do I need to contact to make an action plan work? Who is it that I'm going to talk to? And we told you, you're supposed to call and interview somebody or email them or try to get a Zoom meeting. As long as your parents are okay with it and they sit there and they're nearby, you try to talk to an expert in the field. You could try to get a hold of someone through email by, say, someone at a college or university who studies this, or you can talk to, try to email or find someone that works in the government, who works at, the Department of Health. Anything that you think could be useful, anyone that you think could be useful, you're supposed to do an interview. You're supposed to create and have an interview with that person and share the information that they gave you, right? You should have written down, you should record it or have it on a video, and you see it and you write down and you show us that, what it is you asked them and what answers you got and what information you used from what they said in your exhibition, right? So all of these who, what, where, when, why questions, those can all be completed, and it leads to your action cycle, which is the final part that we told you to get started with. And it's writing a paragraph. You answer the following questions, a full paragraph. Don't put what is your problem, and you write my problem is this. And then you say question 2, what do you wish to accomplish? And you say I'm going to accomplish this. No, you put it in a paragraph. My problem is fresh drinking water is not available to all people in this world. I want to make sure that people understand that wasting water does nothing for anybody except make drinking water even more scarce. The purpose that I care to share, or the purpose that I created by sharing this information, is the purpose of getting people to stop wasting water. I want them to know that wasting water does nothing for the people who need it, right? We can use that water. I want to change the waste that people create by wasting water. I want that water to be useful to others or to the earth, because I realize that drinking water is scarce. I want to learn how people are trying to make others aware. And I also want to learn how people who have no drinking water available to them, how is it that they live? See, so I'm telling you what I want to do. And so this paragraph helps me with my action. So then it tells me, so I chose it, right? And now I have to act on it. So what is the act I'm going to create? Am I going to make a POW tune? Am I going to make an iMovie video to act out something? Am I going to go find ways that people have already tried to share this through websites or things like that? Am I going to get people to donate money to create or buy wells in different countries, or to help people get wells? There's plenty of things I can do that I don't have to spend my own money. I don't have to raise money. I don't have to collect things. I can just send them in these places. Okay? Mouth's getting a little dry here. Let me take a break for a moment. All right. Okay, and you reflect. So after you do your action, you reflect on it. So this should be blank, and so should this section up here with the reflection, right? Those are blank because you've not done your action yet. They're in the sections because it's part of the action cycle, okay? But you can't complete it yet. And so those are the parts we've told you about. And part of your action, you should write a letter to the administration. If we were in school, you'd let them know what it is you are planning to do. If you're gonna go to classrooms and share or whatever. In this case, you don't need to write a letter to the administration, but you should write a letter to us and let us know, are you going to share this information with people in your family? Are you going to share this information with others in our classes by, sending them links to things? Okay, you should let us know what it is you're going to do in the group. And the last thing I'm going to share, that if you're done with planning your action and you know what it is you're going to try to do, then you should probably start with your written report. And this is an example here, right? It can be expository, where it just tells us information, or it can be persuasive, which is this one here is more persuasive. It's trying to get you to be on their side, as an essay. And if you notice, it's really not something that has to be super long, right? This is probably one full page if it's put, in the proper formatting. It just needs to have as much information as necessary to share, okay? Your topic, so that we know the information, we know what you've researched, we know you are more knowledgeable about it. Okay. So I know it's a lot of information, but now you have it on video. You can go back. You don't have to, just remember it. You didn't have to write notes. You could just take this video. This video is like 20 minutes long, if not more. And you have all of as much information I could do to show you where to find it. And if you have questions still, you find this on Google Classroom, you ask those questions, but you got to try to do it yourself first. The first thing is you got to make sure you know where your exhibition log is. All right. So thank you for everything that you're doing to get your exhibition together. We know that they're going to be great. You just need to make sure that you follow the steps, take your time, don't try to rush, and don't try to complete everything in that exhibition log at this moment or over the weekend, but you still need to make sure that it is completed by our planned time for presentations, okay, so that you can create a presentation, film it, video it, put it on Padlet, and let us know. All right, well, thank you very much, and I will see you around Google Classroom. You have a great day.